Good morning, children. Here I welcome you all for the second session of your chapter Gulliver in the Land of Giants. So, in the first session, we learned the story about Gulliver and what had happened to him in the land of giants. Now, we will go for the answering session of your grammar part. I want you all to open page number 118 so that we could start with our word power. The first part of the word power, it says, what words in the story mean the words in the bold italics? The first letter has been given to you. Okay, the first letter, that is one single letter, is given for the answers, and here some words are given in the bold italics. So you have to find the meaning for this in the answer and write for it. Okay, let me read the first question. It says, the citizens were terrified by the bombing. So for terrified, we got to find the answer as horrified. Okay, this word is given in the chapter. Second one, Anna looked at the paper nervously. Okay, the answer is anxiously. ANXIOUSLY, anxiously. Third one, the people in the land were enormous. So the answer is gigantic. GIGANTIC, gigantic. Fourth one, the child looked at the plane with interest. So answer is fascination. FASCINATION, fascination. Okay, fifth one, the judge sent for the accused. The judge sent for the accused. So we have to find the answer for sent for. Okay, the answer is summoned. So the answer is summoned. It is SUMMONED, summoned. So sixth one, the ship wrecked. Okay, the ship wrecked. Crew suffered a great deal of misfortune. So misfortune, answer is misadventure. So it is misadventure. MISADVENTURE, misadventure. Seventh one, all of us slept after a tiresome journey. Okay, it is a tiresome. So the answer is tedious. The answer is tedious. TEDIOUS, tedious. Eighth one, the hero freed the people from oppression. Okay, it is not operation, it is oppression. Answer is bondage. So it is BONDAGE, bondage. Okay, is it clear, children? I hope everybody were able to see it very clearly with the spelling. Yes, copy it down as it is given here. The next we would like to move on to the grammar check. Here we are talking about the modal verbs. I hope this modal verbs we have learnt before also. Here the modal verbs are the words that they help the verb to be pronounced correctly. Okay, so let us see what are these modal verbs, or in the other words we could say they are the helping verbs. Okay, for verbs, if you give some help, they are called the helping verbs. So let us see what are they. Here it says, we usually don't speak the same way for all the people we meet. We speak more formally to strangers and more politely to people who are older to us. We speak in more informal way with our friends, people we know very well as with those who are younger than us. Is that very sure, isn't it, children? When you see a strange person, we speak to them little politely. Okay, when you speak to your elders, we give little more respect to them. Okay, And when you are speaking with your friends, we use sometimes singular words also, isn't it? Because they are too free to us. But when we are talking to elders, when we spoke to our younger ones, we may be little rash too, isn't it? So we have different model of speaking with others. To everybody, we don't speak in a same mode, isn't it? So here there are some words. To speak in a formal or informal way or to ask permission, we often use verbs called modal verbs or the helping words. So let us see what is this. The modal verbs is a special type of helping verbs. Some modal verbs are may, could, can, shall, should, would, etc. Now, these verbs help us to be polite and respectful towards people. We use may to ask polite permission or give polite answer. We use can or could to ask permission or to give permission. So, here may can be used for asking politely or telling politely. For can and could be used for asking permission or to give permission. Okay, so here are the certain words given, but exactly if you tell, we won't be knowing when we are giving some definition, but as you speak, all these words will be common in our language, isn't it? Yes, I hope. So look at the sentence. Let us see which words will be suitable for the given sentence. By then we will understand how perfectly we speak. Choose the correct models from the brackets to fill in the blanks. First one, you, might and could is given. Dash wear my dress for the party. You could wear my dress for the party. That is, very politely you are telling you can wear my dress. Dash, you please open the wardrobe. Could you please open the wardrobe? Yes, we are using could there. Third one, dash, you please give me your notebook. Can you please give me your notebook? Do you know if the teacher can meet us today? Okay, do you know if the teacher can meet us today? I'm sorry, but you cannot take my books without my permission. So though you're warning them, you're warning with the polite manner. I'm sorry, but you cannot take my books without my permission. Okay, sixth one. Can you help the baby pack his bag? Can you help the baby pack his bag? May I sit beside you, please? May I sit beside you, please? Okay, the last one. Oh, there's two more. Could you please play the flute for me? Could you please play the flute for me? The next one, it is the language skill. Okay, here we are talking about the compound words. Compound word means they are double words. Okay, let us see what is it. A word that is made by joining two words. That a word that is made by joining two words is called as compound word. So let us see here. Example, day plus light, daylight. Country plus side, countryside. Card plus board, cardboard. Okay, so here are some combined words. So here, look at here, it gives combine the words from two sets below to form compound words. Then use them in sentence. Okay, so look at the first one here. It is given two boxes here. This is one box here and the second box is given here. You have to take the words from the first box and then choose some of the words from the second box and combine them and try to make them under own sentence. So look at the first one. It is kind. Okay, kind plus hearted, kind-hearted. Kind plus hearted, kind-hearted. Sentence, the king is a kind-hearted man. Okay, the king is a kind-hearted man. Second one, rain plus fall, rainfall. Rain plus fall, rainfall. There is a heavy rainfall this afternoon. Third one, arm plus chair, armchair. My grandpa always sits on his armchair. Fourth one, door plus knob, doorknob. The carpenter has not fixed the doorknob properly. The carpenter has not fixed the doorknob properly. Fifth one, lamp plus post, lamp post. The lamp post at the end of the road shows the directions. The lamp post at the end of the road shows the direction. Sixth one, footprint. So it is footprint. Ruby loved footprints made on the beach sand. Ruby loved footprints made on the beach sand. Beach sand. Seventh one, evergreen. It is evergreen. Our country has many evergreen trees. Our country has many evergreen trees. Eighth one, snow flakes. It is snowflakes. Snow plus flakes, snowflakes. Ninth one, key plus hole, keyhole. Because I don't have space to make sentence of that, I have not made. Okay. If you can write into your rough note these three words and you can make sentence of their own in them. Okay, ninth one, key plus hole is equal to keyhole. 10th one, day plus dream is equal to daydream. The next one is write now. So here we talk about an informal letter. I hope you know about informal and formal letter. An official letter is called as a formal letter, whereas a personal letter is known as the informal letter. So let us see. Informal letters are the one that we write to friends and relatives. They are informal because we are communicating with people who are close to us. The style of writing can be reflexed. Here is a small format given. Look at the format below. Sender's name. Okay, sender's address and name. Sometimes you can write the name, or if you don't want, you need not write the name also. Okay, you can see flat number, address, that is L29199D, Kalkaji, New Delhi. So one of the address. Okay, the date, which date you are writing this, and salutation, that means to address them. Dear Manu. Okay. Yes, dear uncle, dear auntie. Okay, dear friend. Whatever you want, you can just specify them. And the message, what is the matter about a writing letter? You want to invite them to your house, or asking them to come for the summer vacation, or you want to invite them for a party. Whatever it is, whatever is the matter, you write it there, and you write yours affectionately. Then your signature. Okay, if you want, you can write your name, or need not, you can just sign it. Let us see what it is. A letter can be divided into a number of parts. The heading, writer's address, date, which is written on the left hand side of the page. So it is written on the left hand side. So here you will write it. Okay, in this column you will write the name of address of the person and the date. The next one is the greeting with which you begin the letter. That depends on the relation between you and the person to whom you are writing. Informal letter may begin like this: my dear granny, dear Sham, etc. As I told you, So which is your state of addressing the person, you can address like that. Okay, if you are sending to your younger one, to my cute loving baby, you can write like that. Okay, so if you are asking the small sister or small brother, you are going to talk to them writing a letter, then you can address how you want. The communication or the message, which is also called the body of the letter, write it neatly. Divide your letter in paragraphs using simple language. So you can write 1, 2, 3 paragraphs. When you are writing personal letter, you can write pages together or something you are going to describe about your holiday means. So you will write to the place where you have gone. Each and every object you may start describing, isn't it? So paragraph by paragraph you may start describing. Next one is the conclusion or the subscription is a very important part of the letter. You cannot end the letter suddenly by just signing your name. That would be a rude. You have to end the letter politely. Informal letters may be ended like this: your loving friend, your loving son, daughter, nephew, niece, whoever it is, and so on. Yours affectionately. So any of this can be used. This subscription may be written on the left hand side of the page. The first word of the subscription always begins with the capital letter. See, as it is given here, your, Y. Okay, you can see this Y. It is given in a capital letter. So like this you can end the conclusion of your letter. See, here also it is given your affectionately. See, that's Y. So this shows how you have to end the letter. Okay, the next one is the signature or the writer's name comes just below the subscriptions. That is, below this line you can write their signature, or if you want you can write the name. So this should be the body of the letter. But here they have given Gulliver is very grateful to be back in England. As Gulliver, write a letter to your friend telling him or her about your escape from the place, that is Brobdingnag. So that was conclusion of the letter, but I don't feel so you will be able to write at home. If you are able to write, you can try an informal letter, trying by own, or when we meet once again, maybe I'll teach you once more how to give the letter. Here we come back to worksheet 7, the grammar check. So we have already learned about what is this modal verb. I would like to read the rules that is being given for the modal verbs. We use modal verbs to show if we believe something is certain, probably, or possible. We also use modals to talk about ability, to ask permission, to make request, or offer, and so on. So rules of usage. We use modals when we are sure that something has happened, is happening, or will happen. Example, I just boiled water. I just boiled water. It must be very hot. So it must be very hot. Here we are using must. So it has just happened now. So you are very sure that it would be very hot. Second one, we use can or could to talk about an ability to do something. Example, she can dance well. So we are sure that the person can do it. We can use verbs such as must or should to say when something is necessary or unnecessary, or to give advice. Example, it's sweating, we must carry umbrellas. So it is sweating, so we can take some umbrellas. We can use verbs such as can, could, and may to ask for or give permission. We also use modal verbs to say that something is not allowed. For example, can I borrow your books, please? So when we are very sure of giving some permissions or taking some permission, then we can use can and could, or sometimes even may. We can use will and would to talk about habits or things we usually do or did. I will be there on time. So I am going to be there on time. So like such words can be used for the certain things that is going to happen. Okay. So let us complete this words given here. A. Write questions using the words in brackets. Write answers that are true about you. Okay. Example. Can you read and write English? So what would be your answer? Yes, I can, or no, I cannot. So which one is your answer? You have to choose and write. So here are the certain words given for you. Okay, it is ride bicycle. Can you ride a bicycle? Yes, I can. Second one, cook dinner. Can you cook dinner? No, I cannot. That is, I can't. Swim. Can you swim? No, I can't. Because you're too small to go for a swim. Can you play golf? No, I can't. Can you dance on stage? Yes, I can. Can you fly a kite? Yes, I can. Can you knit a sweater? No, I can't. Can you change a tire? No, I can't. So, whichever is possible by you, you can say yes. Which you can't, you say no, I can't. Look here, the second one. Fill in the blanks with the words given below. Okay, here can, could, may and must is given. We got to fill in the blanks with the words. First one. I could ride a bicycle when I was 4 years old. I could. Second one. Can we go out for dinner? Can. It's asking a permission. Third one. We must always tell the truth. We must always tell the truth. Fourth one. It may rain today. It may rain today. Fifth one. I may read this book if I have the time. If I have the time, I may read. We must help the poor and needy. We must help the poor and needy. We can all draw and paint. We can all draw and paint. Shweta can speak in many languages. Shweta can speak in many languages. I must reach the station on time. I must reach the station on time. Robin can play the trombone. Okay, Robin can play the trombone. Again, here is one more set of words given. It is like a choose the correct answer. Okay, it is given. Could I speak the managing director, please? I need to discuss an important issue. It is a formally asking politeness. Okay, could I speak to the managing director, please? I need to discuss an important issue. It is the D1. Okay. Could you give me your notebooks for the day? So it is again could you. That is the first one, A. Third one. Would you mind if I join the game? That is a D1. Would you mind if I join the game? Okay. Fourth one, A1. Can you help me with my project? Can you help me with my project work, please? So again, it is asking a request. Fifth one, would you mind if I could borrow? It is given could. You can add your could. Would you mind if I could borrow your pen? Okay. Next one. Could I talk to you for a minute? Yes, you can. Okay, it is yes, you can. Here already could is given. Could I talk to you for a minute? Yes, you can. Could you give me a lift home, please? Okay, it's already could is given. Could you give me a lift home, please? I'm sorry, I can't. I am not going this way. I can't. Okay. Again, it is one more set here. Complete this list of do's and don'ts for your school notice board. Use only must, should. Okay, you should use only two words, that is must and should. Okay, two already they have done for you. We should reach the school on time. We must not shout to each other. So two is already done. So the rest we will have to do. We must not spoil the furniture. We must not spoil the furniture. Fourth one. We should not make noise in the class. We should not make noise in the class. Fifth one. We should switch off the lights and fans after leaving the class. Okay, we should switch off the lights and fans when you leave the class. We must maintain silence in the library. We must maintain silence in the library. We must not litter. That is, not make it dirty. We must not litter. We should wear proper and clean uniform. We should wear proper and clean uniform. We should bring all the books and textbooks. We should bring all the books and textbooks according to the timetable. We must listen to our teachers. We must listen to our teachers. So here is the end of your exercise work. So by this we end up our chapter 7. So next we will meet in our next session with chapter 8. Is that clear, children? Till then, complete all your works and prepare for your exams.